Well, the mood has gotten very negative on silver, which means it's a good buy. It's that simple. Because a lot of people right now, that were on the silver this and silver that. Like I said, I probably won't be on this crap at all because of later on, not being off YouTube. Maybe I'll be doing car stuff and health stuff and exercise stuff versus silver, because I'll be telling you it's getting too high later because I think it's going to super spike. That's my contention. But what's going to lead the charge and what's going to be one of your number one indicators is going to be oil. And the talk from Israel about them striking Iran, maybe it is just talk. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I don't have an elite friend, Actually, I don't know. There's people, actually nobody really even knows this for sure, because there was, and I don't want to say the guy's name, but I mean, it's not like some secret, but I just don't want to mention his name, but he's a PhD, not somebody I know personally. This is something I read now. But he expected, I realized why he was talking about oil going to now not Lindsey Williams now, I'm talking about somebody else here. I now realized why this guy thought oil might go to $150 a barrel back by June of 2012. It was because Netanyahu was going to strike Iran. But the Israeli Mossad pulled him back. That's the word. I don't know if that's how true that is, but it probably is correct, because no country makes a decision like unanimously. There's like a push and shove and everything. Like in other words, one of the things that I think what's really going to cause silver and gold and everything to really fly upward is tensions in the Middle East, extreme tensions. That's really going to be a major catalyst besides the debt. And besides if there's another downgrade in the budgets in the United States. But, nobody knows what's going to happen in the Middle East. Now, say, for instance, Dick Cheney was president. Say he was, right? We would have already struck him. We would have already had a war. There have been wars going on over there left and right. Okay? I mean, I'm neither for Obama or Dick Cheney or anybody, but there's different camps and there's a lot of push and shove. So a lot of that's very, very unpredictable, no matter what you think you know on the inside. Because I can remember, I can remember back in the military that inside scoop from intelligence was when the leader of North Korea died, they were 100% sure North Korea was going to attack. They were flying up M1 Abrams tanks in C-5 Galaxies, which you can only put one tank in there. It's like the biggest cargo plane in the world. I think Russia has one. It's a copy. It's slightly bigger. And, the best intelligence in the world even then was wrong. Okay, that's the other thing. So, but, what I can really go by a lot is common sense. First off, if silver, say, for instance, is going to go to $10, you can expect like $1.50 a gallon for gasoline. Forget about the gold prices and platinum and palladium and all that stuff. I mean, all your everyday goods would be going deflationary left and right. Everything. And it's not the case. The money supply is actually getting greater, but the money supply is not getting out into the productive middle class. I know that deal. But anyway, just watch out for the fear porn out there, fear porn for liberty and all this kind of garbage. You know what I'm talking about. And, this kind of stuff doesn't do you any good at all. But just use a lot of common sense, keep a cool head. And, the only way they can actually make some commodity, I'll tell you the reason they make palladium so cheap is that the Russians use slave labor, gulag slave labor, since the 1930s and stockpiled the stuff the whole time until they found a use for it, a major use for it, which was the catalytic converters in cars way back many decades later. So they had these huge stockpiles. Those stockpiles are supposedly every year they're supposed to be like we're almost out of them and all this type of stuff. And, it's like maybe, maybe not. But they are dwindling down. But the only way a commodity could be that cheap is to use slave labor. Really. And this is like, and you want that to happen? If they're going to start using slave labor, you better be fighting back. I mean, I'm serious, man. That's bullshit. So, silver ain't going that low. Actually, even in Africa, they had with platinum. You know, you figure what kind of mining strikes they had out there, right? They had mining strikes left and right. They had the police come in there with machine guns, kill miners. They had a new agreement, and then they still had an illegal strike after that. And the reason is because the mining conditions and the pay is horrible. And yet, you know, if these miners aren't making money, and nobody's really making that much money on the metals or anything like that, so why is the price so damn low? It's all being rigged down. That's quite obvious. But, you know, it looks like right now the major temptation is to go in the equities market or to hold dollars or buy bitcoins. Now, if you bought bitcoins before, great. I wish you did that, and I would have been dumping them a long time ago, to tell you the truth. But whatever seems strong at the moment is not where you want to be, because right now I'm even noticing that even in the stock market, you know, they're talking about 20,000. I think, yeah, eventually 20,000, but it's going to pull back first. Maybe it will be eventually 20,000, but it's going to pull back first, and it may pull back very hard. You know, something that really alerts me to where something's coming out with a lot of BS is, first off, there were stories about a 40 to 50% correction in the markets. There were stories about a 15% correction in the other stories about 15% correction in the markets, and it's staying flat for many years. And then they pull those stories. It's almost like we didn't want to tell you that, so wait a minute, we're changing our mind. And you get stories about, you know, Bitcoins is, you know, it's in a bubble. Now they're coming out, I'm talking about the major guys. That's why you got to watch the major media too, because they're full of it too. Now they're telling you, oh yeah, maybe it's going to keep going up, and oh, it's good. I don't know. That's telling me something bad there too. But, you know, everybody's ignoring silver right now. And, you know, it's taking a little bit of life today again. I don't know, it's a little bit over 19 again. And it was looking like 18 yesterday almost for sure. But you don't know. The thing is, oil's been going up. And it's a lot of oil. I think oil's going up strictly because of the words of Israel. And maybe it's not going to happen where they strike Iran, but then again, it doesn't matter what's going to happen or not. It matters what people think is going to happen. It's like if people are fearful, and Israel's talking about, you got to freaking get these sanctions back on here, and you're not going to do this, or we're going to strike Iran, oil is going to keep going up. And, you know, you're not going to see oil fly up like this and silver lose half its value. You know, that's ludicrous. That's totally ludicrous. So, you know, if you're going to see like silver go down to like $10 an ounce, like some people are predicting, you're going to have to see oil go down to like $50 a barrel or something like that, or way below 75. And the only time I could see oil going to something like that temporarily is if there's a stock market crash at the same time. See, oil and the stock market pretty much run together. And, you know, but the thing is, when oil prices go up, it causes a pulling back effect on the economy, because every dollar increase in oil basically pulls on the GDP. Like, in other words, free energy. Actually, you know, that's what solved the whole freaking world's problems, actually. If we had free energy, there'd be, like, tremendous economic activity. It's the cost of oil that slows things down. But as economic activity picks up, it puts more demand on oil, so therefore oil goes up in price. All right, that's, you know, pretty much how it works in a nutshell. But the thing is, if you're seeing like oil go, you know, way up due to like talk about, you know, strikes in Iran and everything like that, you're not going to see the metals like dive like this. Because strikes on Iran is also fear. You know, that's another reason that you buy the oil, because you fear that it's going to go up. But it's also, that's another reason people buy the gold. So you're not going to see gold and silver go in completely different directions too. So, you know, right now the mood for silver is so negative that a lot of people have been like, that were silver, talking about silver. It's the word. Now they're saying it's the worst investment in the world. Hey, that makes it a lot more safe, to tell you the truth. That does. It's not. I don't think it's going to lose half its value. If it lost half its value, like I said, everything else is going to be going down in price too. And it just doesn't reflect the overall economy too. Because first off, if the economy's rosy, there should be demand for more industrial metals, which silver is also an industrial metal besides a precious metal. There should be more demand for copper. Copper's taking a hit, So the only thing I think where oil might have a pullback, if I'm just talking about, I mentioned oil in here, is if there's a major pullback in the markets due to a budget crisis in early 2014. That will basically, oil and the regular equities will all crash pretty bad if there's a major problem with the budgets. That will actually cause them to correct. It'll actually cause oil to correct possibly too. But the thing is, you got the problem with possible strike on Iran, or talk about a possible strike on Iran, and that is actually what may keep it up. That's what may keep it up. But some of the things that people say are totally ludicrous, because you're not going to see silver go to $10 and oil go to $100, stay at $100, or go over $100. Like it's at 90 something right now. It's going back up. I bet you it goes over 100 now because of what's going on. And you're not going to see silver stay down really low price if the economy's rosy and there's all this demand for silver, because silver is a highly industrialized metal. So, I mean, as far as it actually shooting up right away, I don't know. What I think is going to actually lead the charge is going to be oil. That's going to be your indicator. It's going to be oil, gold, then silver, and silver will get legs, and what will happen is it'll catch up to the other two and pass them. But, I don't know exactly when that's going to occur, because a lot of this is contingent upon two things: what happens in the government budgets, and also what happens in the Middle East. So, now it looks like 2014, early 2014, there's definitely going to be a problem, because they forestalled it. The problem that should have happened in October didn't happen. They forestalled it till early 2014. That's probably going to be very bullish for gold. That should help out silver. Now, if something happens in the Middle East in the spring of 2014, then oil is going to go way the hell up. Then you're going to see, gold and silver go up too at the same time. That's pretty much what's going to happen. Just look back historically. Actually, the time when we had the highest prices in commodities, I know there was other things going on then. There was a lot of inflation and stuff. But the highest time we had in the commodities was during the Iranian hostage crisis, basically, in 1979. And tensions in the Middle East will do it. You just look at, the correlation between oil and gold is fairly decent. The correlation between oil and silver is not really good, but when oil goes in a super bull market, like it's really going up fast, that's when the correlation gets a lot tighter. And that may happen because of may not even be a war, but if there's enough rumors of a war, if it looks like something's going to happen any minute, that may bring up the price of oil to $120 a barrel or something like that. I really don't know. But if there's enough fear out there that something's going to happen right away, you will see oil go up to new heights. And that's not going to cause silver to drop. Silver's going to go up in that kind of scenario. So, betting on silver going down to $10 and stuff from where $20 it is now, or around $19, $20, that's ludicrous. The mood is extremely negative, and that's a good sign. Now, I notice a lot of people are starting to pump out Bitcoins again, even from the mainstream. And, one thing I don't like about Bitcoins, though, in principle, is that it reminds me of what's going to happen in the future. Even though you could say it's not the same thing, but we'll have a worldwide digital currency, and it's going to be, I just don't like that. I mean, that's the whole reason for having physical metals. You own the money, you have it in your hand, and that type of stuff. The worldwide digital currency is probably, even though I'm not very religious at all, is probably just like what the forecast in the Bible talks about. And it looks like they don't really have to force it on anybody. It looks like people are going to actually demand it. Which is like, if you look back historically, it's never really the elite that are the problem. It's the people themselves. People allow themselves to be led around the nose by Hollywood and all this other garbage. I mean, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. They get allowed to be led around by emotions and fear. That's really my beef with the Christians many times. Because actually, it's not really true Christians. Most people who call themselves Christians, in my opinion, aren't Christians. Period. That's my opinion on it. It just, that's what, see, those kind of people piss me off to the max. I think most of them just talk the talk all the way with the Bible, and they pull out all these quotes, and they got Jesus on their side and everything. I don't even want to hear that garbage, because once I hear that kind of crap, I just turn it off all the way. But, if you're actually a true Christian, you're not going to be going with the mark of the beast. And, one way not to go with the mark of the beast is to stick with silver. Come hell or high water. That's the way I look at it. It's part of the reason right there. So, but just keep things in perspective, because it's ludicrous to think that silver is going to go down to $10 and oil is going to stay, it's going to go like to 100 or past 100. And it just doesn't happen like that. That doesn't happen like that in the financial world. Just look back all the way. It just doesn't happen like that. You're not going to see oil fly up like this and gold and silver take a nosedive. That just doesn't happen. It might do that on a day or a week. It just does. The trends definitely don't happen. But it ain't even going to do that on a monthly basis. So just, have no fear, man, because, sometimes I wonder about some of these Christians. It's all like they get behind this because they're fearful. They're fearful. They're so scared they got to have the man in the sky on their head and behind them all the time. Jesus is going to take care of them all the time. It's fine to be fearful, but, come on, man. What do you expect? This guy ain't going to come down and help you out every freaking day. You know what I mean? You got to do shit on your own. So, anyway, don't worry about silver too much. Oil's going up. If oil's going up, oil's going to lead the charge for silver. And, it's going to play out. So I'm going to tell you.